Surprise! I'm at my parents'. I couldn't stay another minute, knowing what I know. Oh, you were careful. You probably thought you were even considerate. But I know as sure as if I had been there, seen it, felt it. I know as sure as I know that the planets spin around the sun. I know because I know things. I was going to tell you how, because I truly believe that there should be no secrets. And if I had, then you never would have, you never could have, because you would know that I would know. But I wasn't supposed to tell anyone, but you, I could tell you. If I married you, I could tell you, you could know. But after you said what you said, turning my everything into so much pig shit but that wasn't your fault. You didn't know. But this was your fault. I'm saying it all wrong. Okay. You know I'm at my parents'. I had to get 3,000 miles away in order to have the nerve. No, it wasn't nerve. Geez, why can't I just say it? It's a sponge. No, too soon. Okay. I didn't know I was different. I was so different. My mom, she would hand me a wrapped present, and I would get this little, this sort of, I haven't said this out loud since I was 5. I would get this sort of squeeze, like a sponge squeezing, a sponge in my chest, and I would know, clear as day, that that present was a doll. Or the doorbell would ring, the sponge would squeeze, and I'd run to answer it, and my mom, she would shout, "Don't open it until you know who it is." But I knew who it was. It was the mailman or the neighbor or whoever. I always know. The phone rings, the sponge squeezes. I scream out, "Grandma, Grandma." Dad says, "How do you know?" I always know. Every time. Mom and Dad, they look at each other funny. They try to test me with the which hand is it in game. I always know which hand has the marble. They try to fool me by thinking the wrong hand, but I know. I wasn't reading minds. I was just knowing. First they're excited, then they're scared. No one can know. There are very bad people in the world who will want to steal me if they know I can see the future. What future? I just know which hand has the marble and who's at the door. The whole next year before I enter school, we practice. If it's just the 3 of us at home and the sponge squeezes, I can tell Mom and Dad. But if somebody's there, then I keep it to myself. Or if we go to the playground world or the shopping world and the sponge tells me something, I keep it to myself until we get home and it's just the 3 of us. Not believing any of this. It wasn't words. The sponge didn't talk. It wasn't even a sponge. That's just the best way to describe the feeling. Sponge squeeze, molecules disperse, knowledge lands in my head or wherever it is we keep knowledge. By the time I enter kindergarten, I am a secret-keeping master. But being careful does not come naturally to someone who is 6. Watching out for kidnappers does not help me make friends. And then one day, I'm in the back seat of a carpool. The sponge squeezes, and suddenly I know that we are going to run out of gas on the freeway. And I'm 6 years old enough to know that this is a bad thing, but also that I can't tell her. So I just start babbling. One time, we ran out of gas because our gas measure was broken. You have to be really careful when the gas measure is broken or when the needle says empty, you could get in an accident. I say this out of nowhere. And guess what? She stops for gas. I didn't have to watch the disaster. I could intervene and keep my secret. Joy, elation, friends. Mom and Dad, they notice the change and they want to start talking and practicing all over again. I promise I'm being really careful, but can I tell Lorraine she's my best friend? They lose their minds. No, you absolutely cannot tell Lorraine. You can't tell anyone. Ever? They see the sadness in my desperate little face. You can tell your husband when you're married. They probably say this to buy time, but to me, it is the deep truth. I hang on to this through my childhood, through middle school, high school, college. So when I see you walk into the dining hall senior year and the sponge squeezes and I know I will marry you, that you are the person I will tell, the one person, finally my person. For the first time, I could just let loose. Do you remember how I introduced myself? Hi there. I just bought this extra chocolate pudding. There's no way I'll be able to finish it. Maybe you could help me with that. Bold, open, exuberant. I barely recognize myself. I got pretty careless, but you never noticed. I was just your quirky girlfriend all those times. The time we go see your uncle in the hospital, we go because your mom's too busy. And anyway, he's being discharged the next day, but I know. I call your mom and I tell her he's real disappointed she couldn't come and maybe she should visit even though she's the one supposed to pick him up tomorrow. And she cancels her appointment and brings him his favorite meatloaf sandwich. He codes while we're all in the room, you remember? Or the time that your friend was showing off his fancy new fishing lures and I said, that's a weird baby shower gift. And his wife hits him because she thinks that he told you about her pregnancy, but he didn't tell you. You didn't need to tell me. I knew. Hold on. Mom, unplug the iron. My mom, well, they know something is wrong. I don't usually show up unannounced and uninvited. They're both a mess about us. Thank you very much. Oh, your first year grad school tuition, it didn't come from them. I went to Aqueduct with $180. I left 9 races later with 36,000. I was careful. 6 different windows to place bets in, 6 different windows to pick up to cash in the tickets. The con artist your sister was going to marry. It was me. Send her the link to the police blotter. You know, I was loosey-goosey because I was gonna come clean. Happiest 2 years of my life, my big wedding present to you. Until, you probably don't even remember this. We were watching that TV show, about the psychic detective. She was so ordinary. She had these normal problems about money, her daughter, and her boss. Then out of nowhere, I feel this sort of abyss open between us. And I know exactly what you're going to say. Why doesn't he just take the girls and leave her? Can you imagine the nightmare being married to someone who thinks she's a psychic? Just disdain, dismissal. Our wedding 1 week away, just an abyss. Maybe I should have called it off, but you were the one and only. So I decided to hide it, like before you, hide it away, and not only hide it, but block it out completely. If the sponge squeezed, I would sing a song in my mind. She don't love you like I love you. If she did, she wouldn't break my heart. Just sing it over and over, louder and louder. The sponge squeezed during the ceremony, and I sang the song in my mind before any information could get in. That's why the big pause before I do, not because of any doubts or to make anybody laugh, which they did, but because I was mental singing, drowning out whatever was coming. And that's it, that's what it's been. Sponge squeeze, mental singing, louder and louder to block it out. I don't want to know. Those times you ask me to repeat myself, tell me to pay attention. I'm not listening. I'm mental singing. To block out the knowledge you can't believe in. Block it out to be the person you could love, not the weirdo you have disdain for. It wasn't the life I wanted, but at least I had you. So I was caught off guard when your phone rang, and I suddenly knew you were talking to a woman. A woman with whom you're having sex. That's why I left. You have no idea how hard it is to get on an airplane without luggage or a reservation. Everything. I've given up everything. I've stopped being. Do you even love her? Do you love her like you loved me before we were married? Before I stopped being me? You said something. You don't laugh anymore. You said that. And I didn't reply because I was mental singing. Okay? This was supposed to be what I know and how I know what I know and why I'm leaving. And I'm going to send it because it's all true, all of it. But I'm changing the purpose. This is me asking about a bridge. A bridge over the abyss. From you to real me. if you if you want to.